वेलकम बोथ ऑफ यू। सबसे पहले संकल्प। यस
Good afternoon. So we are all young workforce who's going to join very soon, and we wanted to know how can we strike the balance between aggressive saving as well as spending guilt-free, because we are all love to spend on tech, gadgets, and roam around. So we want to know how can we strike a perfect balance in this growing world.
So I'll give my answer, and then maybe I'll request Siddharth to give his answer. But personally, I think one should not increase the lifestyle significantly once you get a job, because you will see your peers, your seniors using certain things, certain gadgets. So you should not try to match their lifestyle. You should have your own financial discipline, how much you want to save, how much you want to spend. So don't come under peer pressure or looking at seniors, is what they are using. So have your own lifestyle and take it, basically pace it gradually. Don't change it at once.
Yeah, so to add on to what Nitin said, I think one of the fundamentals of investing is goal-based investing, okay? So one needs to identify the goals that one has in the near, medium and long term. So you may have a goal to, let's say in the medium term, have a foreign trip, okay? You may have a medium to long term goal of buying a asset like a house, okay? So goal based investing will be sort of a balance between investing and also look at what your aspirations are in terms of spending. But yes, things like discretionary spending on you know, devices which may not be really prudent in a short term is something that you can always keep at the back of the mind. But once you have goal-based investing as your first step towards investing to meet an aspirational goal, I think you are taking an informed decision. What is it that I should be investing to meet my goal in the near, medium and the long term?
Also इसमें एक चीज़ मैं भी ऐड करना चाहूँगी कि जब भी आप कोई चीज़ खरीदे तो आपकी क्या नीड है और क्या वांट है, अगर इसमें आप एक डिफरेंस पैदा करोगे तो आपको आपका जो इन्वेस्टमेंट जर्नी है उसमें भी हेल्प मिलेगी. कभी कभी होता है कि आज मुझे लग रहा है कि शायद से मुझे ये सैंडल नहीं पहनना चाहिए था, मेरी जो रिक्वायरमेंट है वो दूसरी है. मुझे समझना पड़ेगा क्या वो मेरी रिक्वायरमेंट थी या आई वांट अनदर सेट ऑफ सैंडल. तो जो अगर मेरी रिक्वायरमेंट थी तो डेफिनेटली मुझे लेनी पड़ेगी, बट वो सिर्फ मेरी वांट थी तो शायद से मैं उसको रोक के और जो वो कॉर्पस है अपने इन्वेस्टमेंट में लगा सकती हूँ. तो ये एक फॉर्मूला भी है जो हम अपनी लाइफ में यूज़ कर सकते हैं. मूविंग फॉरवर्ड, सिंदूरा, मेरे सिंदूरा प्लीज वेट, माइक विल कम.
Good afternoon. So you talked about how we need to maintain discipline in our investments. We need to start early. What is another big mistake that young people like us would make that can affect us long term?
So the most important thing is the choice of the asset class where you are investing. As he had shown in the presentation, you have to beat the inflation. If you're investing in a bond or fixed income at your age, while you're starting the career, that won't be the right choice for you. So you have to go for a higher growth kind of an option. So the choice of the asset you are investing in.
Yeah, and you can have a seat. And what is important, I think, is whenever you are investing, always understand fully the product that you are investing in. Never go for a product which you do not have full knowledge of, right? Because that is where we generally tend to fall flat on our faces. You would have read about the recent, reports that came out in SEBI about so many retail investors, 93% of retail investors losing money in futures and options. Investing to me is predominantly a very boring kind of a activity. We should not try to make it too exciting because probably that will lead us to take bigger risks, and that is something that we may, regret later on. So fundamentals of investing is start as early, be as regular, stay as long term, and always invest in products in which you have full knowledge on. Do not try and get into asset classes or products where the knowledge or the understanding of the product and how it operates is not very clear to you or you're not very confident of.
Well, next question, Gagan. Do we have Gagan here?
Good afternoon, sir. So my question is basically relating to the young generation who we see on the social media telling at the age of 22 or 23, they have made a lot of big corpus. So what do you want to tell to this generation about investing, without getting into the trap of getting rich quick? How do we invest properly in all the asset classes that is available?
Okay, so again, and as I said, one needs to be very prudent, one needs to be aware of the asset classes which is available. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of noise in social media, there's a lot of noise in all kinds of media which is available. But the challenge is we need to cut out the noise. We need to ensure that we are aware of what is our prudent asset classes. And one thing is very, very clear. The basis of any return, or let me be very general on this, the basis of the financial services industry is based on risk. Risk will determine the cost of an asset. Risk will determine the returns that you are generating. What is the risk that one needs to take is dependent on him or her, their own risk assessments, right? What kind of risks they are able to take. So we need to be very, very sure of when we are taking these kind of decisions. These are like life decisions. So if we get swayed away by a lot of media noise, social media noise that we keep on getting through influencers, I think that's the wrong approach towards taking prudent decisions, because then you will be always clouded with the opinions that are being shown or being said in the social media. So one needs to be careful of that. Assess your own risks, assess the products that you want to invest in, and take a measured decision on that.
And one should always look at the long term, what has been the return that has been generated in the long term. So for example, in the chart we had shown 15% CAGR. So maybe there could be years when returns can be as high as 30%, 50%, but over a long term equity has generated 15%. So maybe you should keep that as the upper end.
Well, moving forward, do we have Maria?
Hello, good afternoon, sir. So you had mentioned about financial independence and all. So I would like to know, how would you define financial well-being in today's world? Is it purely about wealth, or does it include emotional and mental peace as well?
That's a lovely question. I think mental peace. You can have
Emotional.
Yeah, emotional stability, mental peace is something which putting a value to it is very difficult, and that is equally, if not more important than financial security. And I think both go hand in hand. And because end of the day, if you are financially secure for your basic needs like health, education, that is and for yourself and your family, I think that also leads to a lot of mental well-being and mental peace and stability. So we need to see what is the fine balance between financial stability, financial well-being, and how does it link up to us being secure emotionally in the future as well. So both are linked, both are, I think, very closely linked. But yes, one needs to always keep a view out on how emotionally stable and how emotionally well-being you are in terms of your overall approach.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Moving forward, Sanket. Sorry, my bad, Saket. It's Saket, right?
Thank you so much. Sir, so we've been discussing about the topic that how people have been or the people's expectation has been evolving lately. So how are organizations designing their compensation or reward systems that can support both well-being as well as financial security of the employees nowadays.
So many organizations, so you have two things, right? One is the financial security and the second is how to motivate the employees. So the one simple way to do it is how much is the fixed portion of the pay and what is the variable and what is the ESOP. So variable and ESOP is what motivates the employee to do better, where he or she does better and the company also does better. And they get rewarded for that. And the fixed part is the financial security, where you are being assured certain number. So of late, what we have seen, many companies are including ESOPs as a kind of carrot mechanism, where if you do well, you will be rewarded extra. If you don't do well, then you won't get that. So you have financial security in the form of fixed and somewhat variable, and motivation in the form of those ESOPs.
Yeah, and I think Nitin touched on the financial part of it. The softer part of it is taken care of by the HR team, right? I think the HR team designs a lot of courses or a lot of events which engages with the employees, which tries to gauge what their EQs are, and try to keep the morale high and the motivation high. I think those are things that keep on happening in any organization, any good organization. For all organizations, employees are a very, very critical part of their entire ecosystem, and I think all of them take measures to ensure that employee happiness, employee motivation is the highest, because then that's when they can give the best to the organization as well. So, yeah.
Well, moving forward, Nava.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for that insightful session, sir. So my question is, we live in an era where automation and AI is reshaping the financial services industry. So in such an era, what are a few financial skills that is essential for aspiring professionals?
So many experts have talked about this, that there is IQ and EQ, so intelligence quotient and emotional quotient. So intelligence is something which can come from numbers, etc., where AI can help you. But emotional quotient is something which you learn through your experience. Even in our work, we come across many such critical situations where we have to take a decision. And all decisions can't be taken just based on data. So we have to bring experience into play, what has happened in the past. You have to judge the management in terms of quality of the management. Promoters, do you trust them? So all those things come with experience. So the ability to, basically the knowledge of history, how things have worked out in the past, your own experience, let's say 5 years, 10 years, you will see you will experience many things, many companies, and you will meet many people. Those things can't be replaced by AI. So that is something which comes on the emotional side, or which comes with experience. So we think that is something which is irreplaceable and which is the real asset.
Right. We rightly mentioned we are the real asset, and जो emotional quotient है, हम AI को intelligence और उसको feed तो कर सकते हैं, लेकिन वो feed कैसे किया गया है, हमारी ही copy है और हमारा ही सब कुछ copy किया गया है. तो emotional quotient helps us a lot in this journey. Moving forward, Dhruv.
Good afternoon. So, sir, my question is behalf of everyone sitting here. If you have to give advice to MBA students about achieving the financial independence while maintaining long-term stability and peace of mind, what would it be?
Okay, so interesting question, and long-term, I think you've answered half your question by the question itself. So you have to look at things in the long term. And as I mentioned during my presentation, start as early. The moment you get your first paycheck, please ensure that you start your SIP and be as regular. And SIP is a method which ensures that you are regular, right? So it's a method wherein you are investing on a monthly, weekly, fortnightly, whatever frequency you take on a regular basis. And as I said, as you also mentioned in your question, long term, stay in the long term.
अभी इतनी थोड़ी देर पहले प्रेजेंटेशन आपको दिखाई गई थी, तो वहाँ पे फॉर्मूला था कंपाउंडिंग का, I which is the invested amount plus 1 plus R की पावर टाइम, तो दैट पार इज अ टाइम, वही टाइम जो है वो पार है. और एक कंसिस्टेंसी, इससे पहले जो बात हुई थी, यू हैव टू गेट अप, यू हैव टू ड्रेस अप एंड यू हैव टू शो अप, दैट इज कंसिस्टेंसी. चलिए काफ़ी सारे क्वेश्चन पूछ लिए, लेकिन काफ़ी सारे क्वेश्चन रह भी गए हैं, बट आप बाहर इन दोनों जो हस्तियां हैं उनसे मिल सकते हैं. थैंक यू बोथ ऑफ यू फॉर ज्वाइनिंग अस.